Good evening, everybody. It's Shelley Johns here from Gympie and Ross.
Good evening.
So I'm a Herbalife coach. I've been with the company now for 28 years. I've lost over 20 kilos and 3 dress sizes, 20 centimeters off my tummy, and I feel fantastic. And I absolutely love helping people with the products. I think a few people can agree on this call that have been in the business for just as long as I have, that we love helping people just as much now as we did when we first got started. So, and that's how you want to feel about what you do. You want to have that passion all the way through. Okay, so tonight's call is all about customer care and follow-up, and I feel this is probably one of the most important topics to cover and for things for people to master, because we often get paid before we do our work. So we want to make sure that we create long-term product lovers, people that are going to stay on the products forever because they just love it. So that's who we're looking for. And to do that, we actually need to be able to help guide them through starting on the products and gaining that confidence to where they just love it and they couldn't imagine life without it, just like what we do. So I just thought we'd kick off our evening with our good news. So let me find so let's share some good news. So this can be, you might have been to an event, you've been doing some personal development, you've got a new client or result, activity you've been doing in your business, and anything that's positive that you can share. So let's start off. Tricia, are you able to talk? I know you're at work.
No, I'm actually driving home at the moment.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
So you went to the STS on Saturday. How was that for you?
Yeah, great. We had a lady that Ali, and she was a great presenter. She gave us lots of tips to do with growing the business, doing it your own style, and yeah, she was really good. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep. And we had a few awards throughout the night of people, and that was really good from building team spirit and that. Yeah, so I had a group and I think we all did.
Excellent. So something special happened for you. So what happened?
Oh, I got an award for senior. What's it called? Senior
Consultant.
And so I went up and they asked me how I had achieved that, and so I just said how I had achieved that, and it was really good getting out of my comfort zone.
Excellent. Yeah, it was great seeing you on stage with that microphone in your hand. You're a real natural. So yes, I'm so happy. I think the recognition was great, and I could tell that you had a real shift in your energy and attitude. Like I can really feel that you're quite excited after that event, right?
Yes, for sure.
Excellent. Well deserved, Trish. Thank you for coming along and spending the day. And you know, this is really just the beginning. You know, you're on this journey, and we can't wait to see you grow and achieve more of your goals.
Thank you.
No, so thank you for being on the call. So, Coral, I know you had some exciting stuff on Saturday happen as well. So, tell us about your STS experience.
Well, what I got a lot out of is now the new changes to read from your books and your brochures, because it's all there in front of us. It's simple, it's duplicatable, and that was something I approached straight away and contacted one of my members, and he's actually signed somebody up and getting super excited with ordered products as well. So everything's sort of looking up. I've mainly done a lot of personal development this last week. I've gone away and spent a few days with my husband up in Yeppoon and contacted some upline, Scott and Brad, in getting some tips and ideas, and I'm yet to put that into place. So it's been a pretty good week. And I'm getting my volumes of customers are going really great this month as well so far.
Excellent, fantastic. And I know you got the VIP, chosen for VIP.
Oh, yes. I was eating a tubby of yogurt at the time, and I'm thinking, oh, don't tell me I'll get called. And guess what? I'll get called. wonderful experience. We had aloe, we had protein bars, we had a president team member, we got us a herbal beverage. So it was a great honour and a great day.
Well deserved. I'm glad you got that experience. So how exciting for you, and just keep up
Yes.
the great work.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you, Coral. Lindy, tell us your good news for the week.
I've got a few actually. One is the continuing products with Ben, and so it's to the point now where he demands I have water, not plumbed, but it's in the fridge with the aloe, and he won't take it from the tap anymore, only from the fridge. So he knows the taste is different, but he knows that's what he wants. No more weight loss for him this week, but definitely centimetres, and I'm noticing it in his clothes, which is great. Josh is still a pig. He still has his shake, so there's no change with him. But the thing with Ben is that his energy and he's to say his verbal's not right, but he's making more sound. He really looks at you. He's really something's changing in there, which is really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens as he loses more weight and gets more energy. I've been doing a lot of cold calling, which is really hard, but I thought I've got to get outside the comfort zone. And no's okay, that's fine. It just means not yet, as you always say, so that's okay. What else? I've been doing a lot of personal development myself as well. And then I have a new client as well, but then I can go into a little bit more of that a bit later because, challenges with that too. But good challenges, because if everything was easy, then you wouldn't learn anything. So.
Excellent. Yeah. Well done, Lindy. I'm very proud of you. Just keep going. I know it's not easy in Canberra. It can get quite cold, I hear.
Oh, tell me about it. I went to go and open up the chicken coop. My hand nearly slid and I went sliding down the grass and nearly had jeans full of poo. That's another story. But, it's very cold and icy in the mornings at the moment, definitely.
And so you've got to get creative and find ways of being still able to do your business around those sort of conditions as well.
Yeah, but then you still don't use that as an excuse not to go out, because if you go out, then you walk and you warm up. Yep. So you have to look at it from different angles as well. It'd be really easy to lie there with the blankets, but you've got to get up and get moving.
Yep, absolutely. So thank you. We're looking forward to hearing more of your good news next week with your client. And we'll definitely go through some stuff tonight that might help. Irene, what's your good news for the week?
Well, we have had over the years many different members, and it's always very heartwarming when somebody comes back. Not only does she live in Sydney, but she actually came up here to the Sunshine Coast, and we had a lovely time talking with her. And at this point, she said initially, I just want to use the products, but within a few days, she already had a client. Would you believe it, in Mumbai? So that was really good news. And I find, I keep in touch with our clients because they're all over the place. And one of the things I really enjoy is hearing their results, but also hearing how they have fallen in love with the products. And I think that's something that with time, you will find you'll have that core clientele that just love the products no matter what.
Thank you, Irene. I love your good news. That's beautiful. So we have Rosemary. What's your good news for the week?
I did attend the SCS on Saturday, which was fantastic. So glad I was there, just gaining the information that was shared with everyone. I'll definitely be at the June the 15th. I've already contacted several people, with regards to the importance of that one. Today I've been talking to different people. So, but the other thing for me, being a nana, and I've got children out in the bush, and I've been requested to visit there. So I always try and do business while I'm wherever I am. Doesn't matter, on an aeroplane or wherever. But before I ever go, it's just always something I've always done. Any of my clients who don't purchase from online, I notify them and let them know I'm out and about, and do they need anything. So, so they're not without product while I'm away. So that, I've got a lot of customers like more, come back and get products. And I'm constantly always, making sure that what I do, so that I look my best wherever I am. to encourage others to want to get on board as well. So for me, it's, you know.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Rosemary, and I love your attitude. And yes, I was thinking of you when they said that the next STS on the 15th of May was with Randy, who's new Milner team from India, obviously Indian background, even though she lives in Australia. And they said, who do you know in India that can get in front of this person to inspire them? And yes, I was thinking of you when they mentioned that.
Yes, yeah, because I've got, Joseph, who is from India, and he's got quite a few of his family on the products over in India. And he was one of the ones I first made the phone call for. And he did have a chap that was supposed to come on Saturday, but something happened. And I did say to him, you make sure that that chap's there next, and you on the 15th. So, and whoever, there'll be others that I do know who are from India. Get as many as we can to that 15th, because we all it'd be brilliant what's happening with Herbalife.
Definitely. So who do you know that's from India? You might even just love eating Indian food and have your local Indian restaurant. And you know, I've got this great guest speaker coming next month at Brisbane Technology Park. So who could you invite that you know, or ask people, who do you know? And it's a great way of getting people to that information session, and where they're going to hear lots of results and stories to inspire them. So definitely keep that in mind, everyone. I just wanted to acknowledge Anne-Marie. I'm not going to put her on the spot, but I know that she's really focusing in on her consistency with her nutrition and healthy eating. So I just wanted to say, well done, Anne-Marie. I know it's not always easy when we live in different places and not near each other, and we feel isolated. So I really, congratulate you on your commitment for your health, because I know how important that is. So well done. Now, Jan, did you have some good news to share? I just can't see your camera, so I just thought I would ask you, or are you in listen in only?
Tell her you just put it on silent.
Yeah, so you're muted, Jan, so you'll just need to unmute.
That better?
Yep, that's it.
Because I've had 3 people sort of come back into the fold just recently over the last week or two. Basically, I've been working with them to sort of get them re-inspired back on the products and that sort of thing. And I think I emailed you today, one of the girls in the UK. Actually, Irene, you'll probably remember this person, Rick and Vivian Oren.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes. My goodness.
It's a long story. They did go to the Philippines and worked over there. Then they went back home to the UK. They did drop out, unfortunately. Then later on, they did get re-signed, but not with me, somebody from the UK. But then a couple of years after that, because this is going back to Willoughby days.
Yes, a long time ago.
A long time ago. Then after that, unfortunately, they had a marriage split up, unfortunately. And anyway, they weren't sort of on the computer any longer. Anyway, Vivian eventually tracked me down through Herbalife, and she's got re-signed.
Wow. So, congratulations, Jan.
So she's very good in the business. She's had a lot of tragedy in her life over the last several years, but back on the products, refocus. So I know the opportunity is going to really, really help her, for her future. And her son Seb, he's now 22. So yeah, long time ago that you remember them. So really, really good. So yes, I've been working with her as well. So yeah, all I've been doing over the last this last week is working with the people that have got re-signed.
Excellent. That's fantastic. So exciting, everyone. I know that we went to this year. So what did you think about Ali's training?
It was good. It was to the point. It was good to get back to some basic training and give you clear indications of what people were required to do. She didn't muck around. I was glad that she pushed out the fact of how you could do a 10,000 volume house instead of working on a 5,000 volume house. It was good to know all that information and have the people there to be able to see that.
Yeah, I liked it. There was no fluff. It was good. And I took photos of all the slides, and I think it makes an excellent training. And even though she'd had a bit of a break, she is definitely, you can tell, she's just had that Marquis style training. It was very to the point, and I like the back to basics style as well. So, and she's obviously a worker. There's no substitute for hard work, and there's no secret. You just got to work and put the effort in. And I think the good news for us is I had a old member re-sign, so that's good. Her name's Beck. She's a school teacher, lives at Gladstone in Queensland. So her and her partner are going to get on the product. So I just spoke to her tonight. Her orders arrived. She was pretty impressed on the quick delivery. One of my old retail clients, she sort of travels, and she just topped up some of her products. She's at Nanango, which I wouldn't mind going for a bit of a drive out there and meeting her. Kayla, who was a Herbalife lead, she's at Narangba. She's doing well on the product, so she's a school teacher as well. And also there was Cara, who will listen to this recording. She's got her friend Fran on the product, so we're meeting up with them at the centre to do her results and see how she's going, and she wants to add in some protein bars. So that was really exciting for Cara to have her another client, someone that got started on an alternate program and then wanting to upgrade. And also we've got 2 people booked in tomorrow to have a chat to them about getting on a program. So they came off a flyer. So that was really good.
You're on fire.
Yeah, I know. They work. So, and this morning we went to Fit Club, even though it would have been easy not to go to Fit Club, but we did. And we did some flyers afterwards for an hour or so, a bit longer. So that was good. Gibby's not easy to do flyers. It's quite spread out and quite higgledy-piggledy. Anyway, we did that. And then we came home, then went into town and did some walk and talks, and went to the post office as well. So that's good. We've got Dad staying with us, so he came into town with us. So I've just sort of been juggling it with birthday week this week. It's going to be full on. So I've got the schedule behind us on a whiteboard for the girls to know every single day what we're doing and what they're doing as well with their Poppy. So that's really exciting that we can balance that family life and work life as well. It's not always easy, as everyone knows, but yeah, I'm just trying to really treat this seriously and show the girls why we do what we do and enrolling them in the whole thing. So yeah, just trying to get them on board.
Actually, I do have one other thing I wanted to add in. It just sort of made me think, the boys had gone to the special needs dentist because Joshy needs some surgery again, and we do everything in one hit. And the dentist is quite a dag. He's really funny, and but he's very skinny. And so I said to him, I keep telling you, the products are really good, blah, blah. And he goes, what products? I went, really? Do we have to have this conversation again? And we have a bit of a joke about it. But he left a couple of days ago to fly out to PNG to do a 9-day Kokoda trek or something. So he took the sports stuff, because I didn't realise how involved he is in sport. So sometimes it's that, you might do it once, but then because they're so busy and because of their professional life, it sort of goes out the window a little bit sometimes. Yep. So that was just just offhand, just reminded that was my +1 more when he returns. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Well, let us know how that goes.
Yeah.
Is there something you want to add?
So one other thing is, and we don't realise this at times, the power of your own mind and how positive you can be and what you can achieve in this business. And I told Shelley at the end of last month we would achieve something this month, and we made sure we did that. And it was just a matter of, and I didn't realise it until she went, just see how powerful your mind is. I went, yeah, okay, fair enough. So obviously at the SDS we were awarded with having the top volume producer for Southeast Queensland. We put that out to ourselves at the end of last month, and we just went for it. So you can achieve whatever you want to achieve by putting in that energy and just going for it.
Yeah, mine's very powerful.
It is. The universe does listen to us when you put it into action.
And congratulations to the both of you. That was great.
Thank you. Yeah, it was nice. I think Russ was pretty excited to be up on stage.
Not.
But you did a good job. I know you were nervous. That was good. I think Scott Conlon's quite good at interviewing people. I do like his style of how I've known him for a long time. He's definitely a lot more humble now too, and I've found that he was quite relatable and drew out lots of good information. So I love that as well, because he obviously interviewed Trishy and and that Ling Li, who's Li Ling, the girl that got the top recruiter. How cute is she? She's like the cutest little thing, and she's just like, oh yes, I've just done world team in 1 month, and yeah, just lovely little Asian girl. I don't know how old she is, but yeah, she's very sweet. So I'd like to have a chat with her next time, find out what she's doing, and obviously she's just talking to people and just doing it, so it's really cool. Okay, so let's get on with it because we've got 40 minutes to get through our customer care and follow-up. I'm sure we can do it, even though we're all talkers. So let's get on with it. So I guess the most important business tools are your own passion for the products and the opportunity, plus your desire to serve. You know, how much do you love to help people and serve people? So I actually got this from Lynn Sorelsky. This is her slide, but it really hit home with me on how passionate, and we've got a lot of passionate people on this group, our mastermind group, who just have that passion for the products and the opportunity, and we can paint that picture for other people and give them that big picture of what they can do and believe more in them than they believe in themselves, and that's often what it takes. So I really, really love this. So this is just to kick it off. So this is something I saw, sorry, it's a little bit fuzzy, but you know, sometimes when you're talking to people, and they might already be on the products as a client, but sometimes we forget to ask people or go back to what do they really want. I know it's something you're really good at.
Yeah. I pretty well, I suppose, I'm pretty blunt at times, as Shelley calls it, and I'm pretty straight to the point. And I try I really don't be rude, but I really try and get inside their headspace and find out what do they want. Not what I want to sell, what do they actually want? And then try and work as heavily as I can to there, because once I know what they really want, I can help them 100 times more, because I can work out what they want, I can stay on their side, and I also, when they turn around down the track and go, oh, I go, but you told me you wanted this. But I really try to get past that. People will tell you at the beginning what they want, but sometimes they're not prepared to. So it's about forming them, really get inside what do they want, and start to pick up on. It's great that we can work together, because Shelley will talk a lot to them and they'll be talking back, and I'm trying to listen for the certain cue to find out what do they actually want, how serious they are, and are they really going to stay in the business, and do they really want to make a shift and a change in their lives, because that's what it's about.
And so finding out what they want, and then sometimes I think I go, oh, I think you're a bit harsh, and then all of a sudden I'll get this message from them going, oh, what Ross said really resonated with me. I'm like, okay, well, obviously that's, it's just that balance. Like Jan's perfect story is that Gary and Jeff had the argument about pushing you to go to the extravaganza, and you just absolutely loved it. And so it's quite, it's sometimes you just need both sides, both parts. And that's where the teamwork is, and it doesn't always have to be in a couple situation. It can be in a sponsor and another team member, sidelines. We all help each other. And the other thing I like on here is sometimes people will say, oh, I can't afford the products, so it's good to see what are they already spending or eating on a typical day, and what would they be spending, to see. And it's not, the program doesn't go on top of that, it's in lieu of some of that. So it's a spending shift. And especially if they do drink alcohol, or they smoke cigarettes, or there's anything else that they do like that, they're spending money on something. So all they've got to do is shift it onto some of the products. So it doesn't have to be on top of. So I do love this sort of evaluation. And sometimes you may need to revisit it with someone that's already on the products. Don't feel like, oh, I've already done that with them, I don't need to do it again. They just might need that, what do you want, or how you're going with your goals. So that you can keep reminding them why they're doing it, because some people do need to be constantly reminded. So did anyone have anything they wanted to add to that?
That's good.
No, cool.
I'd just like to add that, what you just said is very important, because people do get off track, and going back to what you started with originally does refresh them, and it does help them keep on track a lot more.
Yeah. And also I think sometimes as a coach, when we get familiar with someone or it's a friend, sometimes we can treat them differently, or maybe just relax a little bit on what we would do with a brand new person. So also going back to basics and doing it just the way you would do at the beginning. And I'm constantly reminding myself of that. Just because someone's been on the product for a long time doesn't mean, or they've been around you a long time, doesn't mean that they don't need that extra help and support. So that's another one to go back through and have a look who might need me to touch base or ask those questions again and get them refocused. So following up your clients. So follow-up is definitely vital for your business's success. It can basically be, the difference between succeeding in the business or not succeeding. And we definitely sell results. We're not, people want results. We're not selling products, we're selling results. And the other thing we need to know is Herbalife isn't a diet, it's a lifestyle. So we're looking for people that want to make that change in their lifestyle and that shift. And you want to be able to make sure that you're continually getting lots of results. And I know Coral's really good at this at the training. She's always taking photos of people's results and who's sharing the stories on stage. So she's collecting stories, not just on the products, but on the business as well, so that she can relate it to people she's speaking to. So I know Jennifer's really strong on the Flipbook, but you can also have it on your phone or your iPad. There's lots of different ways of being able to share results. I know at the centre we've got frame pictures on the wall, and we're always excited about getting a new result from our clients onto that wall as well. So it's like the Hall of Fame. So, you know, you can have a lot of fun with it as well. Make sure you read the career manual, and I know we're told to read it 4 times, but you just also may need to go back to it, because sometimes, as we know, being in the business, it gets reprinted and changes. So make sure you've got the updated career manuals to read as well, so you know what your team's looking at. You know, you need to be very current and relatable with them. We're always taught to call on day 1, day 3, day 7, 14, 21, 28, and some people may need more than that. And that's okay, you just need to fit in with them, but that's the basics. And then after day 28, you might continue to do it weekly or fortnightly or monthly, depending on the person and what their needs are. You just need to ask them again, what do they want? I've got lots of really independent people on the products that definitely don't want me calling them every week. And then I've got some people that need me to call them twice a week. So make sure you know what they want and ask them. So these are some of the follow-up questions to ask. And Mark Hughes always said, don't ask questions that have a yes or no answer, because if you say to someone, did you have your shake? Of course they're going to say yes. And they're not always going to tell you everything, are they? We know that we need to be like the investigators. We've got to go looking for the right information. And we always kind of know when something's not right. We can tell. But you've got to learn to listen to your intuition. And the best way is to ask those questions. You know, how did they make their shake? What did you put it in? What were the ingredients? What time did you have your shakes? How did you take your supplements? You know, were they easy to swallow? How much water are you having? You know, how did you have your tea and aloe? What snacks did you have? So you've got to ask those questions so that you don't just get a yes or no answer. You're getting some sort of feedback. And generally I'm writing it down as they're talking on their chart, so that I can help them get that through. So you want to ask these questions on day 3, 4 and 7. But also on other days, if you feel like they're not getting the results they should be, just keep going back to those basics. And the thing I was always taught, Merv was really good at this. He would go, he'd ring his client and he'd go, or he'd see them face to face. Hi Mary, how you going? Oh, I just spoke to Sue and she's lost 1 kilo and 10 centimeters this week. How are you going on the products? So he'd always share a result first and then ask them how they were going. And I thought it was a very clever way of doing follow-up and inspiring them with results and then getting their results. You want to celebrate with them and then ask, has anyone noticed your result? And when that's happening, then you need to ask for referrals. And I know this is something I need to get better at, and I'm really trying to work on that. Who do you know that I could help, or who wants to feel as great as you, and start asking for those referrals. And even if you find it hard, even on the chart, have a little reminder on your chart that says ask for referrals or time to reorder. So all of those things are there to prompt you as you're doing your follow-up. And remember, if the results aren't great, get back to basics and ask those questions and make sure you're going back, or use your mentor on 3-way calls and things like that as well. So did anyone have anything to add on this sheet?
No.
Good, excellent.
Yeah, very good.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. So these are some of the things you can add in with your clients. Now, look, if someone's at 25% and they're just getting started, they might not want to be giving these sort of promotional items. You may even want to add them into the price. That's perfectly fine. You're running a business. I know if I get someone an Ultimate program, they get the whole starter kit with the shaker and everything like that. That's like their gift. But remember, it's really up to the member on what they would use, you know, and spend in setting somebody up. But you're more than entitled to add it to the cost of the program if you wish. And I just wanted to cover, or wanted you to cover, just about the Formula 1 spoon that they get, the scoop. Just keep in mind the Mint Choc has its own scoop, and so does the Active Fibre Complex. But with the Formula 1 and how long it lasts for, I think it's really important, because sometimes people will get by an Ultimate program but we know the shake's not going to last a month. We all know this, unless they're really stripping back on it and they're not going to get the results, or they're going to get hungry. So did you just want to cover that?
Yeah, so the way, and this is very good, especially if you've got a retail client, or even a brand or a first-time member that's only on 25%, and you know in your head, hang on a minute, they should have reordered. Are they taking the product? If you know what you've already discussed with them, you should know that. So basically it comes down to this. If you're taking the 3 scoops per shake, which gives you the 9-ish grams of protein, that canister of Formula 1 will only, 2 shakes a day that is, will last 10 days. 10 days it's dead empty. If you're talking in a situation with a customer and you do the 2 scoops only per shake, you get 15 days out of a canister of Formula 1. You'll only get 30 days out of a canister of Formula 1 if they're only having 1 scoop per shake twice a day. You need to know that in the back of your head, so when you are doing things. Now, we generally, if we try and sell any program, especially an Ultimate program onwards, we start up straight up front with 2 canisters of Formula 1, because we know especially if they're taking 3 scoops twice a day, they're not going to get a month. And I don't want a client to come back to me, and when I've said this is a month's worth of program, and 10 days time they're going, but you told me. So we start off with that straight away, that they're at least going to get to that scenario from there. But yeah, it's very good, because sometimes I've gone with Shelley and said, hey, that client should have reordered. Oh no, I know you've said they're having so many shakes per day that they should be out of stock. So you can be very quick then to go, then when you're doing your follow-up, the customer's not taking the shake properly. That's why they're not getting a result. It's important that you know that.
So, so there's a couple of things you can do. If you're new, sure, you can sell them the 1 program, but you need to let them know that they're going to need a shake halfway through. And there's nothing wrong with that, because they can come back and see you, and it gives you that chance to get in touch with. So can you do it that way? Yes. But I do love the 2 shakes with the program, because they can have 2 different flavors. So that's one of the things. And of course, if they've got a partner or kids, guess what's going to happen? They're all going to start wanting the products too, and also they start going through it quicker. So often that extra shake is really handy, and especially if someone's got a lot more weight to lose too. You're talking about 20+ kilos. That sometimes that 3 shakes with having the 3 scoops per shake, actually they're more satisfied. They'll get faster results. Especially with guys, they're going to build that lean muscle faster as well, and they've got more muscle mass, so they're going to need more nutrition. So it's just that sort of thing. So just be aware of that with the scoop, if you're giving them a scoop. And look, I didn't have scoops when I first started, and I know Jan and Irene and Rosemary wouldn't have either. So there was no scoops, there was just a spoon. So and we always used to put two dessert spoons, which equals 1 tablespoon or 4 teaspoons, however you want to look at it. And I always fluff the shake up when someone has just arrived. I say, look, it gets a bit compacted in transit, just fluff it up, and that will also help with it lasting through the time that it should as well. So did anyone want to add to that?
Well, Shelley, I just feel when I started, I was very grateful that I had the tablet container, and I also had a little powder container, because I was using the products without knowing, and it allowed me to prepare my program for the day. I had my shake in the morning, but I put my supplements in so I could take them during the day at work with the shake, and then I could come home, cook dinner, sit down and have it with the family, and nobody was the wiser.
That's right.
So even just the tablet container and maybe a powder container, if that would be very, in my view anyway, that is so important. And then the other things you can add in as a promotion, when they've lost so many kilos, you can give them this, and they've lost not more kilos, give them that. You can always do that. But that, to me, without that, I don't know how I would have gone.
Well, I think we need to rename the starter pack as the undercover customer pack. So, yeah, I really love it. And it's interesting when people get it, because there's a little product brochure as well. And it's like they just love it. They go, wow, thank you so much. So I just think it's a really great thing to be able to go. But it costs about $16, something like that.
$70, something like that.
So it's just, keeping in mind that maybe someone at 25% might not want to outlay that, but you can get the shakers separately and the spoons separately. So even if you're just giving them a scoop, and then adding those extra things in, or having it as a reward for the Ultimate program, whichever you feel comfortable with, it's entirely a personal choice. So So losing body fat in centimeters. So I definitely get people to measure first before they weigh themselves. So I've had in the past where someone's like jumped on the scales, they didn't lose any weight or went up, but they lost like 10 or 15 centimeters and they could not be happy about it. I was just like, so how interesting, how fascinating. So make sure you get them to measure first. I'm really strong on this because you want to protect your client's psyche and you want to celebrate everything. Go, wow, 10 or 15 centimeters. And then if they jump on the scales and they don't lose, it's not such a big deal. And the other thing is, which I know we all seen this picture before, that you look at, this is 2.2 kilos of muscle and 2.2 kilos of fat. And of course, body fat takes up more space and muscle takes up less space. So it means that if someone gets on our program and it's got this amazing protein and they start building some lean muscle, or they start exercising and building up lean muscle, or both, could it mean that they, as they build up muscle and they're losing body fat, that they could be changing shape, but their weight may stay the same or even go up? So who's had this before?
Yeah, I've had a couple of customers actually that happened with.
And you want to be really strong on it. Yep.
And Shelley, I even had a customer who rang me and she was confused because she said, I haven't lost weight, I haven't lost centimeters, but I'm fitting into a skirt that I couldn't fit into for 8 years because she's reshaped.
That's right. So the reshaping is really important. And so you've got to be strong with the customers when they're not losing weight, because a lot of women especially are very, focused on those scales. That we don't want them weighing themselves every day. Just once a week at the same day and time approximately is great. That's why I like them coming to see me. But some of your clients aren't going to live near you. So you need to also be really strong with them that the weight's not the most important thing. Yes, we want to take a before photo, try a piece of clothing, measuring, of course, and really celebrate the centimetre loss. I know Jan's fantastic. What do you do when someone's lost so many centimetres, Jan?
Either, depending if they're coming to me or they're distance away, either get a tape measure and mark it on a tape measure or a piece of green ribbon and measure out how many centimetres they've lost. And I have in the past posted it to them with a little congratulations certificate attached to the green ribbon. I'll get them to put it on the fridge and they can, when they've lost several more centimetres, send another one and they see all the difference. So you can, have some fun with that sort of thing.
Absolutely. And it's celebrating as well. It's recognition, it's celebrating, and it's very visual. And people just love that. So I've been doing, when at the centre, I've got these little cards with positive quotes on it. In fact, I need to print some more off because we're almost finished. But every time someone comes and weighs measures, I put what they've lost for that week, and then I put the total of what they've lost, including how many centimetres off their tummy. And then I'm giving it to them, especially if they're a new member or a VIP member. What I'm doing is I'm actually packaging their story for them. So I'm like, wow, this is what you've done this week, and this is your total result, and look how many centimetres you've lost off your tummy. And I know that they take that with them, and someone asks them, I've already training them on how to package their story in the most powerful way using the facts. So little things like that people really do love. So really think about the difference about losing body fat, because of course we want them to lose body fat, but we also want them to put on lean muscle because it helps our bodies to be stronger, healthy aging, stronger bones, all those sort of things. And this is a really great picture to show your clients, to explain the difference between losing centimetres and losing weight. And look, that some people lose both too, and that's fine. So it's just when someone is more of a centimetre person, you need to be strong on it, strong enough to say, look at this, the difference between lean muscle and body fat. So this is a chart. So there's lots of different charts you can use to track people's progress. I like to measure people, but of course that if they don't live near me, then they've got to measure themselves. So generally I say, if you're getting someone to measure you, always do that. But if you're doing it yourself, then always do that. And I realise arms can be a little bit tricky. There's some really great resources on the herbalifewlc.com.au website. So it's the old Weight Loss Challenge website, which is still great. There's heaps of fantastic resources. So if you go to Coach's Corner and type in the password shake, you can go in there, and there's lots of training calls too on there, all about how to run a weight loss challenge, but definitely different ways of looking after customers and resources in there as well. So I definitely recommend that you go in there and have a look and just pick things that you can add in. You don't have to, change everything completely, but just use some of the resources that you feel appeal to you. Did anyone have any, they wanted to add about the challenge website that use it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Good.
Cool. Okay. So taste obviously is really important. So we really want to make sure that people love their shakes, because if they don't like the taste of the shake, how on earth are they going to stay on it long term? So I know for me, I love, like I've had a couple of people recently go, oh, I'm sick of having the shake. And I'm just like, I can't, doesn't even compute in my head that I just love having the shake
Right.
every single day. And I'm sure there's lots of people on the call that feel that way. So what happens when someone doesn't feel that way? What does that mean? It doesn't mean that they should stop taking the products. It means that we should show them some variety and different ways of being able to take the product, especially in the cooler weather, showing them how they can have it in things that are warm, not necessarily icy cold. So you want to be that gourmet shake maker, and blending with ice is great because it makes the shakes thicker without calories. So this is great in the cooler weather. I love that you can prep your shakes and make them in batches or freeze them overnight. It makes them very versatile, especially if you're traveling. I know we do that when we go to trainings. It's great. So I know you had a couple of points about banana. Sometimes goes brown when you freeze it, so it doesn't always look pretty, but it still tastes okay.
Yep.
Pineapple
can go bitter.
Yep.
You just need to know yourself. Really, you do need to stand in your own kitchen and become your own best shake maker of your tastes and understandings from there. You really do need to know what combinations are really good and what combinations you would go, I don't know, I would suggest that to someone else. You just need to know that yourself and do a bit of experimentation. That's the only way you really get to know your products, is to experiment with it. Really do.
And I know Kerry Bowie made a good point during the product training at the STS on Saturday, that if you're on weight loss, maybe don't load your shakes up too much, because remember, you're still on weight loss, so you want to find that healthy balance. And yes, you can garnish them like here that we can see with some banana and some dark chocolate shavings and chia seeds. You can do that if you want as well, to make it more interesting and fun. So you want to make your shake for your client wherever possible, and maybe have 2 or 3 different ones that they can try, because you want to make sure that they go, wow, I love this. I can really see myself having this. And just knowing those wow shakes that you can make for your clients, that they're going to be super happy when they walk out with that program. And you want to show your clients what to do. So have the blender there and make it up. You might be at their house, they might be at your house, you might be at a centre, wherever it is that you're doing it. And I also love the shake parties, different tastings, client evenings, or just fun comps, things that you're doing to make it fun for them to try the products and sample them. So they absolutely need to love their shake, so don't stop until they do. So I would love to hear from some of the people in the group what they think their go-to, everyone loves shake recipe that you would make for a client. So who would like to share?
Oh, I don't like to share my shake. I just I'm a bit selfish. There are so many different recipes and so many different things to do, but in honesty, I like it just plain and simple. That's just me, because I race, so I want to drink and go. But I love the Formula One Select. I can't go past that, and I always have that with the unsweetened almond milk, and I love that. That's my go-to in the morning. I actually now have to start expanding my horizon, so I use some of the other ones in the cupboard, but that is my absolute favourite. I love that.
Excellent. Jan, what about you? What's your favourite for a client they're always going to love it?
Pina colada. It's usually the sanitarium unsweetened coconut milk, some pineapple, some coconut essence, and whiz it up with vanilla, and it's usually very, very yummy.
Oh, yes, I totally agree. That's a real popular one, the pina colada. What about you, Irene?
Well, I have taken the same shake for the whole time. I've never veered away from it. And so I drink tea all the time. I drink coffee. Not coffee, shakes. They're the same. But when somebody comes here, I actually ask them, if they like, what they like. I try to get to know what they like first. But Conrad will usually go into the kitchen and make a shake and put it in a wine glass and bring it out for us all, and we'll sit there and have it. And he's made some with the newer products, and sometimes he put a little bit of mineral water in to give, if it's warm, to give it a little bit of a lightness. The last one he made was the mint chocolate, and it went down a treat because the people had said they were chocoholics. So if you have a chat with them, you can really not necessarily have to go through a lot of shakes before you can give them one that they love. And I think that's, but Conrad does the shakes and everybody loves to get them in a wine glass for some reason.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to get Con to do our next shake party at the Lifestyle Centre.
Absolutely. He does, you know, he's very good at it. Yeah, very good. He's a very good cook.
Excellent.
Yes, I vouch for that.
Jamie hasn't cooked for over a year and a half. He keeps telling me.
Have some lovely dinners at Irene's when we lived in Sydney.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, well, I'm like Irene. The first thing I say to somebody is, what is your favourite flavour taste? You need to know that. Do they love strawberries? Do they love blueberries? Do they love mango? You need to have a general understanding of what their flavour taste. So if you only have Formula One vanilla, you really then have you can go pretty well from there, especially if you've got an understanding of what their flavour is. If you can't afford or you do not have, unfortunately don't have a middle, you don't have a select. If you know from the vanilla, which is your primary one you get in your pack, long as you've got an idea of what their flavour is and you've got a base ingredients that are around you, you can pretty well make any shake you want.
Absolutely.
So I've got 3 that work every single time. So definitely number 1, this is all, you could do it all with the vanilla shake, is Snickers. Now, if you're not into peanut butter, which I know you're not, you could use almond butter, which is fine. So it's basically lactose-free milk or almond milk, cocoa powder or raw cacao powder, whatever you've got. Obviously the 3 scoops of the Formula One vanilla, and and one spoon of peanut butter or almond butter, and blend it all up with lots of ice. It's nice too, and when you freeze it, it goes really like a thick shake. It's delicious. It's definitely, everyone loves it. I've always get a big hit with that. The other one then is berries, strawberry. So I do spring water, frozen strawberries, the 3 scoops of vanilla, so it's like strawberries and cream. And if I want to make it creamier, I could add in a couple of spoons of Greek yogurt or coconut yogurt if they need lactose free. So that's really popular as well. And it goes like almost like ice cream. It's delicious. And then number 3 is with juice. So there might be a juice person, not a milky person. I will do orange and mango juice with 3 scoops of vanilla. And I would either put in some frozen mango and banana and blend that all up, and that's beautiful. That tropical is really popular as well. So those 3 are always really big hits. So I hope that helps. We can try them this week. Okay.
How did you go with that green one that you did the other day?
I didn't do that one. That I shared that one. That's though I did hear that when you just put spinach in your shakes, that you don't really notice that much difference. Really, spinach and kale. You just add it with it.
Kale is what I gave to my duck, so I struggle with kale, but I'll try.
So there's lots of other things you can do with the Formula One. So yes, you can make it into Herbie pancakes. So that's nice on a Sunday. Sometimes when you feel like eating something, maybe like one of the Herbie egg muffins that I only do it for 35 seconds in the microwave. It's the only time I cook the shake. And I find that's really nice with an egg, beat in and then microwave for 35 seconds, and then you can add some extra things. Protein balls are good because you can batch them up. Adding the shake into yogurt and then coating it on berries and stuff and freezing it. A smoothie bowl or just with a bit of porridge or muesli. Just remember with the porridge, let it cool first. You could do overnight oats or chia seed puddings. Ice creams are a big hit in this house. I've got lots of these batched up. And any sort of gourmet shake. Look, often we're just in a hurry and we just do it. Make it and then drink it. So I just try and keep it pretty simple, generally on water. But these are extra things you can do, but just watch your snack size portions with your clients. If they're having too much, it's going to slow their results down. So make sure you're asking them when they're making these into snacks that they're not, because it can be like the protein bars. Sometimes people go, oh, I love the protein bars so much, I'm going to have 2 or 3 a day, and they're not probably going to get the results they're looking for. So just, keep, guiding them along so that they're having the correct amount each day.
Well, really, when you're getting to this level of gourmet, as far as I'm concerned, you need to be in a maintenance program. If you're on a weight loss program in this level, you are not going to lose weight.
Absolutely.
It's not going to happen because you're going to load it up with everything else under the sun, and that's not who. Now, again, you may have someone that's a little bit very much underweight that needs to put weight on. fine, go for your life.
Yep.
But if you know someone that's got to lose that 15 odd kilos and you start off in this area, you're going to struggle to get them to lose weight. You need to be very, very aware of that. You know, I know what I eat now compared to what I did when I start. I eat way more product now than I probably did, and I probably do take 3 or 4 shakes a day in different variations of all the gourmetness. From time to time, I make our own creations, but I know where I'm sitting in a maintenance point of view and what I can or I can't do and whatever levels of exercises I'm trying to do on. So just, you know, just got to make sure that sometimes we're very quick to push out recipes to people, and we just got to be careful.
Yep. Just let them know how much. Like the 2 protein balls with a cup of Herbie beverage would make a nice afternoon snack.
How hard is it to stop at 2 though?
Well, so you need to be able to help them portion control. So then they should only make 2. That's a way of getting around it. So, you know, it's just those little things. So I hope that helps. So tips for faster results. I know we've all seen this list before, but I think it's worth revisiting, especially for all the new coaches that will be listening to this. So we know that cow's milk can be an issue, that once someone gets to about 25 years of age, they stop producing the enzyme that breaks down the lactose in the milk. So they might be a massive milk drinker and then all of a sudden get into their mid to late 20s and start having issues with milk. So we know it can cause a lot of things like constipation, diarrhea, wind, you know, tummy pains, all those sort of things. So make sure that if they are not a milk drinker, that they don't go putting into milk because they think, oh, milkshake. So what can they use instead? They can use soy milk, juice, water, almond milk, lactose-free milk, oat milk, rice milk. I think there's even cashew milk. There's lots and lots of different things, even a bit of water with some coconut yogurt. So it's really important that you show them the alternatives so that they're going to get better results. The other thing is to make sure they're drinking enough water. I know the products are water soluble. They're designed to water to flush it through our systems to make it work better. So make sure they're drinking enough water, because sometimes you need to ask, how much water are you drinking? Because they go, I drink heaps of water. And then when they tell you, it's actually not that much. And it's great if they are big water drinkers, but if they're not, you need to guide them in letting them also know that the aloe and the Herbie beverage and those sort of things count as water too, because we don't want them to get constipated. And on the other hand, if they're too regular, we want to make it nice and balanced. Did anyone have any tips on milk and drinking enough water?
I think, sorry, go on, Jan.
If a person doesn't like water, I usually suggest to put the water in a jug with a couple of slices of orange or lemon or both, so the flavour of the fresh fruit goes through the water because it makes it taste a little bit better. And when I do start them on the product, I always ask, obviously, like you just said, you know, ask exactly how much they are drinking. And I always encourage them, if they are a good water drinker, to still increase it by at least another glass over and above what they're currently drinking. Because remember, there is a bit of fibre in the Formula One, so they need to balance out the Formula One and some extra water.
Absolutely. Well, I know you like the hydrating yours, don't you?
Yeah, well, pretty well. If you asked me to drink water, I would not drink it. If you put a bottle of water in front of me, the bottle of water would probably sit there most of the day. So to get around that, I put hydrate in my water, which flicks that flavour change, and then often we'll put the beverage and the hydrate together, so we have that flavour, and I'll drink that all day long. So we all have different tastes, well and truly.
Irene, did you want to add anything?
Well, I was actually going to say similar to what Jan was saying, so she covered it. But I think it's really important to emphasize water. Even like you, Ross, I never drank water. I didn't drink just full stop, which is tea was the only thing, and cow's milk. As you get older, you tend to become more sensitive, even if you don't have a problem with it in your late 20s and 30s, but as you get older, you seem to get more sensitive to milk. Would you agree, Jan?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I noticed that. And I grew up on milk. I can't drink milk now, only a drop in my tea. But I think that water, especially if you have challenges going to the toilet, water can be very beneficial. It also keeps your skin dry from being too dry. It helps to moisturize the skin from the inside. And when you say that to people, especially women, they seem to embrace having more water. And it is the only way to get rid of the lumpy, bumpy bits. And with your cellulose, if you increase any of the supplements, you must increase your water. And in summer, the water you drink when you're perspiring is also the refrigeration for your organs. So you need to not necessarily count that to the same degree as you would normally, because it's going out again. So you need to increase your water more for that. I've noticed that up here on the Sunshine Coast in comparison to down in Sydney.
Yes.
So water is the answer to everything.
Yeah, I know. I'm an ex-Victorian, and I was like Ross. Well, we grew up not drinking a sip of water. It was just that way. Came up to Queensland in 2002, and they told me to drink water. Well, there was bottles of Coke I drank and put on some weight then. But I'm like Ross. I put the aloe as well as hydrate, and I get my 2 litres in. But I seem to don't drink as much as at home, but if I go in the car, I get my litre, put it in the car, and I'll stop at every set of lights, I drink. Every chance I get, I drink while I'm in the car, and I seem to always smash it. So I need to travel more.
Water everywhere, on your desk, in the car.
A lot of people complain about drinking extra water, that they have to go to the toilet more regularly. And what I usually sort of say to them, and this is really what happens, because I know I experienced it myself, is that when you do increase your water, yes, maybe initially you might go more frequently, but once the body is used to taking in the extra water and it balances out, you'll find you'll go to the toilet less frequently, but you'll pass more urine when you go. So that's why it's important to, keep drinking water on a regular basis so the body can get balanced out. And people sort of, after maybe a week, 2 weeks, whatever, they ring up when you're talking with follow-up. Yeah, I'm not having to go to the toilet nearly as much. So it does help when you explain why and what's going to happen when they complain about having to go to the toilet more often.
And I always say to them too, is that the only way fat leaves your body is through your urine and your stool. It doesn't evaporate, otherwise there wouldn't be fat people in hot countries. And so that's a good thing, the more you drink and the more you shrink.
Yep. So excellent tips. Thank you. I definitely agree with all those. And so the other thing too, if someone's feeling a bit hungry and they're needing to maybe just feel a bit more satisfied, they can add in the personalized protein powder. And as we know, with the cooler weather coming up, it can go into soups and cooking and baking and all sorts of things. That's a great way of increasing the protein, and it's such a high quality product. Snacking does help, and I know Irene doesn't do snacks for the weight loss program, which is great. So whatever it is that you do is fine. So, but if someone needs those snacks, they're there, but make sure they're healthy snacks and they're at the right, portion size as well. That's going to help them. But I always say to someone, the best way to do it is, go have try your program for a week, and then we'll track your results. If you're getting results, then great, it's working what you're doing, and continue to do what you're doing. If you haven't quite got what you want, then we can adjust it. And that's another way of looking at it as well, because sometimes people feel like if they don't have snacks that they're starving, but maybe they're not really that hungry and they don't need them. So it's just one of those personal choices as well.
But often, Sherry, the body will say, I'm hungry, when actually it's needing water. It's actually thirsty. So what I say to my clients is, go and have a large glass of water. Wait and see how you feel afterwards. Give it 10 to 15 minutes. If you still feel hungry, then you're actually hungry. But what's happened in today's world, the mind and the body gets confused, and therefore they really need water, but they're saying hungry. And it's amazing how often they say, I was fine afterwards. I know, when I feel I'm hungry in between, I go and make myself up with aloe, instant beverage, a large drink, a large glass, and I drink that. I'm never hungry, never. It's amazing. And I don't even crave my chocoholicism. It's amazing.
Right, so again, water solves everything. Are you hungry or are you just thirsty? And that's a good question to be asking ourselves, and to remind our clients to ask themselves as well. Having your supplements before your main meal with a glass of water, again, that can, you're not as hungry, so you won't eat as much. Your Herbie beverage, not just 3 or 4 cups, maybe 6 to 8, you can increase it. But again, it's a personalized product. You can have as much as you like each day. The herbal aloe, we know if someone's not on an ultimate program and they add that into their program, it's going to help speed up results. and also the cellulose, taking extra cellulose just to help with that centimetre loss, but making sure they increase their water with that too. And the chitosan is one of my favourite products. I do love it. If you're going out and having a bit of a treat or a fatty meal, as pizza or something like that, then have a couple, 2 to 4, with a big glass of water, you know, when you're having those things as well. But that's one of my favourite fibre products. So that's just some tips for faster results. There's many, many more, as you can tell, with all the experience that we've got with all the people on the call. So let's just go on to the next slide. So going over and above the call of duty. So again, daily contact if needed. How many people on the call have had to call their clients every day?
Yep, I've had a couple.
Yes, I've had that, yes.
Yep. What about you, Rosemary? Have you had to do that too?
Work out who it is to do that with.
Yep.
To be honest, yeah.
So yes, that's that personalised thing. Referral program, gifts and thank you cards. Obviously, Rosemary and Jan and Irene are very good at this as well. Monthly and quarterly newsletters. So lucky that Herbalife actually produces this great newsletter for us to use each month. But you can also make up your own. Birthday cards and recognition, not just on Facebook, but face-to-face with certificates like Jan was talking about. People love to have that special attention and recognition. Goal setting, getting them to fill out goal setting a sheet or chart, or just to share it with you, and those 3 reasons why they want to reach their goal. They might have an event coming up that they want to aim for, different articles of clothing. I've just got Beck, who's just restarted on the product. She's getting married next year, so she wants to get into her wedding dress. So what a great goal to have. I can't wait to help her do it. And above all, care about the client, about your customer more than the hip pocket. That's what we're always taught, and you can't go wrong. So we really want to show that we care. And we also want to remember that 70% of the presence team were customers first. So follow-up does equal fortune. So imagine if every single person you helped, whether on one product or a program, you were treating like they were going to be your next presence team member. What a great attitude to have, right? So when a challenge arises, this is some of the things. So this is what we're talking about, and we will cover some challenges. I'm keeping an eye on the time too. So your reaction is the most important thing when someone's got a problem. Because if you go, oh no, or you know, you're not sure what to do, just have that Mark Hughes no problem attitude. It might be aha, or awesome, it's already working, or no problem, or I don't know about that. All I know is my result and other people's results. I know how you feel. I felt that way before, but what I found is when I did this is how to solve it. Doing 3-way calls with your mentor to listen to them handle questions, objections and challenges. Practicing the follow-up process and with your friends or family is good as well, and handling just different questions or objections that will come up, and knowing what some of the most common challenges are. So I thought I'd just get a couple of people to share maybe some common things that have happened with their clients and how we can solve it. So I will start with Lindy, because I know you've actually got a real live.
Yeah, I've got to get the boys to bed soon. Meds are kicking in for one, although you wouldn't know it at the moment. Yeah, I've just got a client on the Ultimate program, and because she's in a very busy business, said to me, look, I really can't take the physical phone calls. Can you just text me, because then that's easier and I can get to that at the end of the day. So that was fine. When it came to the actually of her coming to do the weigh and measure, she said, Josh, I've got some extra clients that have come into work. She said, I just can't get away. Can you bring it to me? So there was because we'd had a bit of a good bond. So, there's a trust there that, you're going to weigh and you're going to measure. But when she weighed and she measured, she didn't like the weight and the measurement. So she didn't want to give it to me because she was too embarrassed. So, it took a couple of days and I ended up getting it. It was fine. But after the first day, she phoned me in the evening and said, I've got the most horrendous stomach pains. And so, going through all the questions like we normally do. And it ended up being she worked out that every time she had the apple fibre, that was what was being uncomfortable for her. So it was just the increasing, she wasn't drinking enough water, so doing all that sort of thing. Taking it down to half a scoop seemed to be more manageable for her. She rang this morning and said I put it into hot water and that was much nicer. I can tolerate it much nicer there. And she said, look, I got, oh, Josh, burping, just wonderful. Boy, Josh, oh, goodness me. Sorry. So she came in, so she rang up this morning and said, I've jumped on the scales, I haven't lost anything, but the measurements have gone down, and she said my clothes are fitting much better. But she said, I didn't tell you before, and I thought, oh, here we go. But she said, I would never eat breakfast. I said, but we went over this in you. But, you know, I think sometimes, you know, they're sort of waiting to fail is waiting to get better, if that makes sense. So every objection I could have had, I received. But she said it's really great. She gets up now and she wants to have the shake in the morning, and she's never felt like that. She said, I just can't get over my energy. That's what's really doing it for me. And she works long hours in a salon, so that was really nice. And she said, and I always look forward to my cup of coffee in the morning. And she said, I didn't want it this morning. So, but after talking to her for a while, she wasn't taking the aloe. And I said, why aren't you taking the aloe? And she said, oh, because all aloe tastes bitter. I said, well, have you had it yet? And she said, no. And I went, well, maybe have a sip now while we're on the phone, because I thought then I can at least catch her to go. And then she said, oh, it is all right, isn't it? And so she's starting that today. So, you know, there's, you know, you can have all the standard questions, but it really just comes into a really nice, not a generic conversation, but, you know, you've just got to have a personable conversation, and you just need to, I'm a bit the same. I've always got a notepad, so I'm writing down everything and anything. So I texted her tonight and she said, I'm much better. I've had the fibre at night in hot water, and I really like that. And racing around with the kids, but I promised to give you the updated measurements tomorrow. So, but the funny thing was, when I was talking about the program, I don't remember saying that there was the money back guarantee, you know, the 30-day money back guarantee. So she said, if you'd said that months ago, I probably would have done it months ago. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. She's on it now. She's doing well, and she's from a European family. So I think there's going to be lots of referrals for that for sure.
And you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, really. That's what I've always been taught.
Yeah. But again, it was the water too. And I said, well, think about it like this. If you a standard glass is 300 mils these days. So if you're taking your tablets 3 times a day and you're taking 3 glasses, you've already got nearly a litre of water. So then you just need to keep going from there. But the trick was too then, you know, after asking the shake and everything else, I said, you know, how are you having your shake? And then she said, oh, I've done the one shake, but I'm not hungry, so I'm not having anything else. I said, but that's not how it works. So, you know, I suppose it's something new to them. And she said to me that years ago, and having been on anxiety medication, so she said, when you're right, you go off your medication. So she said, it's a different mindset for me, because I have to keep reminding myself that I'm taking this for wellness and health. And then when I finish, then it's maintenance. So she said, it's a different mindset that she has to get her head around. So that was a different perspective for me too. I hadn't even considered it like that. So you always learn something from someone.
Absolutely. And so it's good that you worked through that, because I know we had a bit of a conversation about it, and that was early days. So now she's worked through it. So you've done really well. Yeah. And it's just not, I mean, if you don't ask, you don't know. And the same goes for them too. So, but the only thing is, I'm well aware that my time's precious as much as hers. So I do actually I say, if you want to ask me anything, please don't call me after a certain time, but you can always message me or email and I'll get back. Yep. Because otherwise I think I'd be contacted day and night. I think you have to set a boundary of what works for you and your family. Absolutely. Depending on your situation, yes, you do need to let people know how you operate, and that's pretty easy to set up as well. And if things change, again, let people know too, because things don't always stay the same. So I think a couple other things that come up, I'm just keeping an eye on the time, that just say, for example, someone had a bit of detox because they might have got sick or got a headache. Jan, how would you handle that with someone?
The headache, basically there again, go back to water and ask them what they used to have for breakfast try Herbalife, and also find out, you know, what have they changed? Because quite often if a person's currently before Herbalife having a couple of slices of toast and a cup of tea, cutting out carbohydrates can create a headache. So you've got to really reiterate everything that you've said when you're getting them started, and really ask more questions, because usually it's something they've cut out that has created the headache. It's never ever Herbalife, but it's just something they changed, or not having enough water, because water.
Absolutely, thank you. That's great. What about if someone was constipated, Irene? How would you handle that?
Oh, well, I was. I made up the shake in milk because I didn't have the time to let Dagmar explain things to me, and so I dashed back and I started on my own, and I couldn't have called at home, so it was a bit difficult. But I spoke with Dagmar, and she suggested I take something different to the milk, so I did. And but one of the things that was important, because I wasn't a water drinker, and I know we seem to be harping on about it, I didn't, I needed to increase my water because I was getting more fiber. And by the way, constipation wasn't just then. Constipation was prior to that. So knowing that a person doesn't suddenly get constipated, even in milk, it means that it's just worse, that's all. And I had aloe, and so I did an ultimate program. So the only thing I had was my constipation, which was immediately solved once I increased my water. And I think as well, Dagmar mentioned that I maybe, if I needed to take something to help myself, but I didn't. I just increased my water, drank lots of aloe, and that helped me. And I've never had a problem since. Never. You know, it was amazing. It was only I didn't drink water, and the aloe helped me to drink it.
Excellent. So, as we say, water solves a lot of issues.
Oh, absolutely. It's all I did. Yeah.
So,
but it's uncomfortable, so you need to understand the person, and you need to, I mean, you need to help them to understand, to embrace taking water, you know? It's great to say you need to drink so much a day, but I was dehydrated when I came to Australia and ended up at the doctor's. And the doctor said to me I needed to drink 8 glasses a day, and I came home and thought, I can't do that. So you need to help the and I never did. What I tell my clients is, okay, water is important. So every time you go to the loo, have a glass of water. Water out, water in, water out, water in. That was the easiest thing to do, because I thought I can do that. And it's amazing how much, because at the beginning when you do that, you're going more often, you get that water in and the problem is solved.
So you may find, if you're new and you've got some of these things that come and you're not sure how to handle them, just, if you're not sure, just say something, look, I'm not sure, or it's not a problem, I'm just going to chat with my mentor or my coach, and we'll get back to you. And know that there's always going to be help if you're not sure what to do, and it's not a problem. It's generally something fairly simple, and just be strong enough to know that you can solve it. That's all you need to do. So let's just go on. We'll just finish off, and thank you for being patient on the call tonight, everyone. Just with Facebook, look, we know it's not for everyone, but it is an awesome support tool. So it's on the groups. It's great to be able to share stories, shake recipes, tips and hints. It's inspiring and positive and encouraging. Clients can ask questions on our group, so I'll go through which ones we've got and have them answered. Distributors can recognise their clients for their results. So it's a really wonderful community feeling and a sense of belonging. But if someone's not on Facebook, it's not a problem. You still just do it the old-fashioned way. So we have Healthy Active Lifestyle. I know that some of you may have other groups as well. That's fine, but these are the two that you can plug people into because everyone's welcome. Healthy Active Lifestyle is for clients, and that's where you share your results and your recipes and your favourite product and things like that, and recognise your clients. And Challenge Yourself Daily is for members, so people that are interested in the business. So if I've registered someone as a member but they're just purely doing for discount, I would not add them onto Challenge Yourself Daily until I know that they're ready to distribute the products to other people, and then they go on both groups, okay? So they just keep that in mind, and everyone's welcome on either one. So this is just something that Lynn Sorelsky shared about a customer going from a client to a VIP member to a coach. So you definitely place your customers in your Facebook group. This is the one that is for clients. You tag them in relevant posts. So people, sometimes it's nice. And I don't just use their name. I go, oh, hi, such and such. I thought you would like this recipe. Not very often I just tag someone's name. I find it a little bit impersonal. Like their post. Go onto their Facebook and make sure you're liking some of their things and celebrate their results, whether on the timeline or on the group as well. Involve them in your client loyalty program if you have one. I know we've got one at Fit Club for people that come 10 times. They get a free gift. It might be a sachet of one of the products or protein bar, something like that. Continue with the awesome follow-up, phone calls, texts, private messages, recipes of the month, newsletters and birthday cards, all the things you would normally do. Ask them for referrals and then invite them to your particular support system. Coming to the centre, maybe an HOM at the STS, the Herbalife Opportunity Meeting, Fit Clubs, weight loss challenges, skin parties, sample sessions, etc. Whatever you've got, you can plug them into and keep exposing them to the business opportunity. And by doing that, you can easily get them from a client to a VIP member to a coach just by using that system. So that's just something to keep in mind. These are some charts that you can use so you can keep track of your customers, their name, where they came from, what they've ordered, so that you can go track back. I know you do this so that you can see when someone's due to reorder. Yeah,
we've done this a fair bit, so because when someone's done a retail order, for example, we'll look back at it and I'll go to Shelley, hey, have you contacted whoever it may be? It's been over a month since they've placed an order. What's going on? At least know. Now, they may not want to reorder, that's fine, but at least you need to know where they're up to. Is there something wrong within this situation? Has the circumstances totally changed? You just need to be aware of what's going on. And that's just being in touch with your clientele, basically.
Yeah, so that's a good one. And you can just use a book as well, an exercise book. And then you'll get 20 gauge sheet is good as well for just checking in and seeing what everyone's doing, where they're at, how many times they're ordering, what they're ordering, sort of volume points they're ordering. You can really keep track of what they're doing to help them get to that next level as well. So these are just gauge sheets to help you keep track of your business and treat it like a business as well. Because sometimes it can get quite busy and you just want to know what's happening. So what's coming up next? We have our open team calls every Monday night. So remember, if someone can't get on live, it's okay. Make sure they get the recording. And you can either send that out to them personally, you can just cut and paste it. So generally what I do is when I get the recording, you can click on it, the YouTube video will come up and start playing, and then you can just click share or copy, whatever it's called, so you can get the link that way. And that's the easiest way to share it. If you're not sure, let me know and I'll explain how to do it. You've got your own weekly events that you have, whether it's extra calls or Fit Clubs or a weight loss challenge or anything that you have going on in your business you can plug people into. The premium HOM, which is the Herbalife Opportunity Meetings on the Gold Coast this Thursday night at the 23rd. So who do you know on the Gold Coast that you can plug into that? And, you know, they'll be well looked after and it'll be a great opportunity for them to hear lots and lots of stories. We've got our Let's Go event on Saturday, the 1st of June at Gympie Lifestyle Central. It's all on sports nutrition, so we're excited to be doing that with lots of samples and great info. The June STS is on Saturday the 15th at Brisbane Technology Park, so change of venue. So again, who do you know? And of course, we've got Randy, who's for the Indian background. So who, you know, if you just want to use it as a bit of fun to have a theme, who do you know from India that you could invite along? But of course, everyone's absolutely welcome. It'll be a great event. And also, I think the STS for Cairns is coming up this Saturday. So who do you know in Cairns that you could invite along to that too? So there's, you know, and that's not just Queensland, it's everywhere. There's so many things going on. So make sure if you've got centre of influence, people that you know in different areas that you think, who do I know? I know Jennifer's going to be in Taiwan next month. So there's great opportunities for you to get creative and maybe focus on a theme so that they, you know, you can find someone that you can invite. Okay, so what can you invite into? The member activation program is still going on, just in case you weren't sure of this, but it's basically anyone that does 500 volume points in their first 3 months. So I know Cara is actually, yeah, she'll be in the running for this. So we'll go through this with her tomorrow when she comes into the centre. They're doing 500 buying points each month or more, 500 buying points or more, 3 months in a row, consecutive months within their and they've got to start within their first 90 days of business.
You have to start, no, you have to start within your third full month. So in other words, if you started on the 29th of this month wouldn't count as your first full month. Your first full month would obviously be next month, and it's the first, whatever the third month of that is, you must do your first start, and then it's the 3 in a row from there.
Oh.
So if you've got a client that's been going now for 2 months, and you go, oh, they've missed out. No, they haven't. They could start as long as it's the first month within that scenario.
Cool. And I can
Ross?
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a client that's just started at the about 10 days ago, and she's in the running for it.
Yep.
If she does the 500 this month, it's okay.
Yep, absolutely.
This one.
Absolutely. You can start anytime you want, but it will the whole idea of it is designed that if you don't miss out, if your client started now, you like on the whatever the date is today, and they couldn't achieve their 500 in this month is okay. Your first month doesn't have to start till their full month. That's fine. If you can do it in the first, they can start on the last day of the month and they do their 500, perfectly fine. No dramas whatsoever.
Great, because I've got one that's working on it.
Excellent.
Great. Excellent. Well, that's exciting. So yes,
81 years old.
That's awesome. So it doesn't matter what age you are. You're never too old to set a new goal. Is that right?
Absolutely correct.
Okay, so we're finishing up the promotion. We've got Hong Kong coming up. Yes, the tickets are sold out. So if you've got a ticket, then we've got these amazing guest speakers, new Chairman's Club members, Dr. Luigi Grattan, plus lots and lots of other speakers as well. So it's going to be really exciting. That's coming up super fast. So you can still qualify for VIP seating and the qualifiers party. So I know we've done the qualifiers party, but we
do have the party.
But we're working on the seating.
We want the seats. We want to sit at the front.
Got a bit of work to do.
Not really. No, we're right. We'll be right.
Okay.
Come on.
Cool.
What would Gary say? Come on, you've still got half a month left. We'll do it.
Include 2 amazing days of training as well, and lots of leadership training. So there's so much at this event. So this is the Southeast Asia. And look, if you haven't got a ticket for this one, there is also one in the US and one in Europe, just in case you didn't get a ticket. It's okay.
Can you put up the ones for the US, please? I can't find it.
I will, yes. I'm sure I've got it there somewhere on one of the promotions that came out. Yep, I'll have a look.
Yeah, I can't find it. Yep. Thank you.
World Team Retreat is on the 13th to the 15th of September in Manly, Sydney. So you've got 30K Chief Executive President's Team, Mark and Jill Addy from the US, who are really all about that healthy, active lifestyle. So they're going to deliver amazing training. And we've got also the Tab Team Masterclass with that too. So make sure that you qualify for World Team and have a look at those qualifications. So that's the venue. This is some of the qualifications for the Tab Team Masterclass, the World Team Leadership Training. So they're actually doing it, I thought actually it's been changed from August to August. Is I correct on that?
It did. Yes, it did.
Yes. So if you're not sure, I'm pretty sure this is August 2018 to August 2019. Call Herbalife and they will help you clarify that, please. And there's a special Active World Team training. Obviously, the vacation is coming up in, I think they usually have it in October, around October, but the qualification finishes in July.
Correct.
And generally runs for 12 months. So there's still plenty of time to qualify for this one. So you can go on to myherbalife.com.au to have a look at that. But also know that there's another one coming. So just set your sights and just go for it and really see yourself and visualize yourself there because it's an amazing experience.
It's a beautiful country. I want to go back.
So yeah, I found all these beautiful visuals. I just love this one with the hands where they're holding the bridge. How cool is that?
Oh yeah, it's insanely crazy, but it's a beautiful place. So.
So, and then just to finish off, which I thought was perfect for our customer care section with Mark Hughes, care more about others and you will be taken care of. So we always taught that, help people get what they want, you'll get what you want. Care more about people and about the results and the money you make and all that sort of thing, and it's all true. What can you do to help people? So I've got Caitlin laying on my lap getting tickles, just so you know, multitasking here. So that was basically our customer care section. Look, there's so many more aspects to customer care too, but what I would suggest is have a listen, send this recording out to your members and help them, and also start doing three-way calls and really helping them with it. But yeah, if there's anything else you feel that you want to add into this section, let us know, because each time we do it, we'll just add and refine it so that it's the best possible training. Jan, did you have anything to add?
No, you've done a great job, Shelley. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mastermind Group. Irene, did you have anything to add?
No, absolutely fantastic. Great training.
Great. Well, thank you, Coral, Irene, Lindy, Jan, Ross, Caitlin, Rosemary, Anne-Marie and Trish, all for being on the call tonight. We really appreciate your input and your focus and supporting these calls. We just love doing them, and I just feel like I've got such an amazing support group, even though we live in this little country town. So thank you for helping us as well.
Oh, no problem. We're glad that you can do the calls because it helps us too.
Yes, thank you.
So stop share so we can see our amazing mastermind group, and this is just the beginning. It's going to keep growing. And yes, so next week, what's the call on next week? I've forgotten.
I don't know. What was the call?
Oh, back to basics. It was a back to basics training, which I thought would be very good. Use where talk, which is really what people need to know to get that grounding and foundation. So I can't wait for everyone to contribute to that as well.
And I'm going to have to Google and learn how to do a three-way call because I've got no idea. I think Irene did it to me once and she was so excited that she didn't hang up on anybody else.
Probably.
Yeah, a while ago, but I need to learn that one.
Well, thank you for your focus. I know we've got a little bit over, but sometimes we need to when we really want to cover everything. So thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic night. So,
night, everybody. Keep going. You're doing well.
Bye.
Bye.